Hey guys, our Decline here, Average Picker. So welcome to, what is this, like part 4 officially or something? I don't know. But anyway, I thought I would line our pickup here so you could see how it compares to some others. Now, this is a standard short hook from Sparrows in 15 thousandths. I forget, this is the steep or the deep, I don't know, in 20 thousandths from Sparrows. Then we've got the one we made, or I guess I made, but I'm a wee person, so this is one of the standard hooks from the Praxis set in 25, and I believe that's the same one, just in the 15 thousandths. Yeah. So I thought I would just line it up so you could kind of see how it compares. Now, I know the $1 million question here is, or the popsicle stick question is, where are the popsicle sticks? So let's get these out of the way and talk about that. So here is one of them, and the other one did this exact same thing. Now I think it's interesting. I don't know if you remember, there was a red line. Let's see if it's still. No, I've sanded it down. That was on here, and the JB Weld picked that red line right up. I don't know if you can get the reflection too. It picked up some of the lettering, but it did not bind. It just would not bind. Everything seemed good and dried and cured. And I went out and I started working the edge, and I noticed immediately it was bowing on them, and they just popped right off. And I think this is interesting that it picked up this and it's perfectly smooth, because I had roughed this up a little bit in preparation for putting this on. I have no explanation for why the JB Weld did not hold. I mean, like I said, I roughed this up. It was degreased. It was well cleaned. I basically did everything that I know I can kind of slack on doing. And yet, it didn't pick up any of that. It picked up the lettering. It didn't pick up any of, like, where I'd kind of roughed it up a little bit. Yeah, it didn't pick up any of that. And they just completely came off clean and smooth. Just would not hold. Yeah, I don't know. If you've got an explanation for it, it might be cool to hear, because I certainly don't. I was just kind of surprised. Now, the JB Weld will hold up to, according to them, about, 500, 600 degrees. And I did do some grinding and quenching on it. But, I mean, that should not have been hot enough to let it go. Now, maybe it's possible, because this is the faster drying stuff. So it might be possible that this stuff doesn't quite bond the same as the standard. Yeah, I couldn't believe it had done that. So simply decided, okay, you know what? Screw it. We don't need to handle. We'll just get rid of that. We'll just smooth it all out and polish it up some, and there we have it. I've got a little bit of a, I don't think that's going to prove to be too much of an issue. I could probably actually polish that out if I wanted to, but that would start to get a little thin through there. I think it looks pretty decent. I have tested it so far. I've tested it on a couple locks. I still plan to do a wrap up where I kind of sum things up, and I'll probably touch on that. I'm going to put it through its paces some more. It's not entirely great at picking from right off the bat. I can tell you right now, on a few 1100s that I have, it will just tear them apart about 3/4 of the way through. And for some reason, it has trouble doing like a final push to get a turnover. I switch picks to something like, where's that one I had on display? Yeah, I switched to something like this, and it just pops it right open. So I have picked a couple locks with it. It's not great, though. What I've noticed, too, is when in lifting pins, it backs up onto the pin kind of nice, but it doesn't really, it just tends to slide off. You have to really almost it almost feels like you're trying to grip it on the tip right behind the pin in order to push up and get the lift. So it feels a little odd, and I think maybe that's just maybe didn't flatten that enough. I need to flatten and less round it. We might play with the shape a little bit more, but I think I'm by and large done with this one, and we're going to move on and try something else. Probably, like I said in the other video, if you watch the intermission one, probably going to incorporate some of the stuff you guys suggested doing or trying. So yeah, there we go. We are the handle thing just didn't work. So I don't know. If you've got an explanation or think you know why, I'd be happy to hear it. I was absolutely just shocked. So, I mean, I did do a couple clenches with the handles on before I noticed it doing that, but it's JB Weld. I mean, I've used this stuff on a ton of things, and I mean, it can take heat and water. I don't know if I've ever done wood to stainless steel. I've used it on stainless though before, and I've used it on a lot of other metals, and I've used it on wood before. I don't think I've ever tried to do the two together. So yeah, I don't know if maybe, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I was thinking like, well, maybe the popsicle stick swelled or something and caused it to pop clean, but I mean, it just came off so clean and smooth. And I know this thing was cleaned and prepped and everything to accept it. So anyway, there we go. That is the current update. And we'll probably do a little wrap up tomorrow. I'm going to try to pick a bunch more locks with it. Just give it a really good rundown. You can see it's already got a little bit of a bend to it. We'll talk about that too. All right, guys. You have a good night.